Alright, this morning we are going to look at complex fractions. Basically, we have a fraction in the numerator, fraction in the denominator, and we're going to simplify until we have one fraction with no fractions in the numerator, none in the denominator. Simplify also. Okay, so this isn't any different than what you've done in the past in elementary school or middle school, where you had a fraction in the denominator, fraction in the numerator, which means that you need to multiply by the reciprocal. So this is going to be a over 2 times, now I need to flip this over, 4 over a squared. What that does is it cancels out 2, makes the 4 into a 2 because I'm cross canceling. The a goes away, that becomes a 1, that becomes a 1. And this leaves me with just a here. And then we multiply across and I end up with 2 over a. Okay. So this is similar over there. So let's go down to number 3 and take a look at number 3. All right. So for number 3, same thing happens. I have a fraction and then I have another fraction. So this is going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'll have 18p. 8p minus 2 times 4p minus 1 over p squared, that is the reciprocal. Okay, so I cannot cancel anything that has a plus or a minus in it. It acts like a glue, sticks it together. I can only cancel one that has multiplication. Okay, so what we're going to do is look to see if we can simplify any of this. The only thing I can simplify is, factor is the denominator down here. Alright, so let's multiply across. Before I distribute, I have 18p times 4p minus 1. And in the numerator, I have denominator, I have 4p squared times 8p minus 2. So I can simplify because 2 can go into both of these. I can also take out a p, so that p cancels out this p squared, so that just leaves me with a p. 18 becomes 9. 4 becomes 2. Okay. I can factor out a 2 from here, but that isn't going to help me any. But just know that you could, and factor out a 2 from there. So if I factor out a 2 from the parentheses, I end up with 4p times p minus 2. I'm sorry, 2p minus 1. Let's change that, 2p minus 1. And in the numerator, I have 4p minus 1. So it's about as simple as I can make it. Okay. Alright, this one is similar to what I did there. This one's also similar. So let's jump down and take a look at number 6. Alright, so we got a couple things happening on number 6. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm just going to multiply here because I'm limited space, because this becomes b squared minus b minus 20. And that is over 1. So now, I have the reciprocal here. I can't really multiply until I have my factors. So we're going to factor the numerator, factor this denominator, and see what we can cancel out. So we have b plus 2. And down here we're going to divide by b plus 2 plus b plus 4. And that is going to be times, up here we have b minus 5, b plus 4. And that's over 1. So we can cancel out any parentheses that are the same. So I have a b plus 2. Now technically this is in parentheses. And then I have a b plus 4 that cancels out. And then we're just left with b minus 5. All right, we're going to jump down here to number 8. Once again, as soon as I see a fraction, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, I'm going to factor this at the same time. If you look at a common denominator, factor here is going to be 9m. So that means I'm factoring out a 9m. And that's going to leave me with m right here, and then that's going to be 4 plus 4. Okay. And then let's go ahead and factor at the same time that I flip the numerator to the denominator. So that's going to be m squared that comes out. And that's going to leave me with m minus 5. Okay, I can already see I can cancel out m's there. Okay, but we're going to rewrite this in factored form. So let's move this down because we're done with these two things. So I'm going to factor this. I'm actually, because I am limited on space, move this over to the right side. So looking at that, I can see I can factor out a 2. If I factor out a 2, I'm left with a m squared minus m minus 20. So that's going to give me an m minus 5 times an m plus 4 divided by, let's factor this denominator and take out a common factor of 3, and that leaves me with m plus 4. Alright, so after I did all my canceling or factoring, so I can go ahead now and start canceling things. So in the parentheses, m minus 5s go away, m plus 4s, those two go away. This third one, there's nothing to cancel in the denominator, so it can't be canceled out. Cross this out, m squared becomes m, that one goes away. So now 3 goes in itself one time and goes into 9 3 times. So in the numerator I have 6 times m to the 4th. So 6, that's 3 times 2 times m to the 4th, or m plus 4. And in the denominator I just have m. Alright, let's take a look at number 16. It's crazy looking, but we're just going to break it down into our pieces here. So the thing about this is we need to add our numerator and whatever down here in the denominator need to be added before I can cancel them out with multiplication. So we're going to go ahead and add these first. So that means that my numerator is now going to be okay, so it's now going to be, I need a common, this needs to get multiplied by 5. So I factor this, I'm factoring out a 5. And with 5 plus 3, so if I multiply this by 5, I get the same thing, right? So I have 5a squared plus an a squared, that is 6a squared over the common denominator for the numerator of 5 times a plus 3. It is better to leave it in factored form, so when I do the reciprocal down here, or later when I do the reciprocal, you can just cancel it out. So down here I need to multiply this side by a plus 3, so a plus 3, and an a plus 3 here. And this one needs to get multiplied by 5. So in the numerator I'm going to have a plus, and then I have 5 a's. Let's make that 5a, and then I have an a plus a 3. We'll simplify that, and the denominator is going to be a 5a plus 3 out there. Okay, so I'm going to simplify this. This is going to become a 6a plus 3, so we're going to flip it over now. So this one stays the same. I need to flip this one over, reciprocal, a fraction in the denominator. A plus A, 5A is 6A, so it's 6A plus 3 in the numerator, or denominator, which is numerator up here, denominator down there. A6 plus 3. Okay, I can factor out a 3 from that. We'll take care of that in a second. But I can see right now, okay, let's go ahead and factor out our 3 here. So if I factor out the 3 down here, I end up with 3. And that's going to be 2A plus 1. Alright, so that allows me to start canceling out. A plus 3 there, A plus 3. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so that gives me 2. This 3 goes away. So now as you look at our numerator, I have 2 times 5, which is going to be equal to 10. A squared cancels with A squared. Nothing canceled that out. Yeah, and down, denominator is just 5. And then 2A plus 1, but it's not finished because as I go through, I see I can simplify this, can't I? So this is just going to get simplified because 5 is going to cancel out. This is going to become a 2, so let's rewrite it neatly. So this is going to be 2A squared over 2A plus 1. All right, so answer sheet is posted definitely for the notes, and you have practice to do as well on that. And in terms of what we're doing in the future, we are going to push some things back, and I'll let you know about that.